I may be the most beautiful man in the world, and I will blow up like a tank. Kurt 89 and special guest from Ethos Esports, none other than Diesel. What is going on, fellas?
Oh, just another wonderful Tuesday that I get to see that beautiful face. I mean, it is going to be the second most beautiful face I've worked with in the last 5 days, but still looking great over there, Seeger.
Only second? That's kind of depressing.
Yeah, well, you can't mess with the mic though if you sit up here. There we go. Here, does that make it a little bit better? We get the boy in here. So hey, it is Tuesday. That makes it the pre-show, and as always, getting our special guest on here, and you know we looking for some franchise owners of those that are actually participating, but yet we get the inferior dragon out of IGL. And thank you for joining us here today. So we're gonna have a ton of fun. But you know, in all honesty, I know you guys attempted to get back in here. You try to get back in the Invitational, and the competition is incredibly stiff. But from the outside, what is the difference between a normal IGL? Because you guys have played a lot in IGL and this Invitation.
Yes, we do. We have 11 teams currently, actually, between Tier 1 and Tier 3, so we're fairly certain about competition. And the difference between that we've seen, especially playing against them, a lot of these teams have a lot more experience together. I mean, we look at WED, what is this, their third in a row?
Yeah, it's at least their second, I know that. But yeah, they are. You can go play. Again, my children, my wife didn't get home in time, so they're gonna be running around in here having a little fun. But let's get into these matches here, and as always, do a little bit of pick'ems. But Tanker, please give me an update on how we have done so far and how our special guests have gone.
All right, so between Seeger and I am 24-8. Seeger is 24-8 asterisks. Due to last week, there was a miscommunication between the two of us. There was a match where he was describing one team, thought he was talking about another team. So I put down that he picked the team he was talking about when he thought about the other team. So I'm going to give him the credit for the correct pick, but we're going to put an asterisk in there, much like deflated balls in the NFL. But as far as special guests, Dilly still leading the way, 12-4 with a super strong week 1, and Former even picking against his own org.
Oh,
his own org still went 10-6, so still a really good performance. Pretty sure still better than anything Hybrid put up last season.
That is 100% factual. Even when he was picking for Ethos, as Tank and I consistently went against them, and we see who came out on top, but definitely some tall tasks to follow, Diesel, and we hope that your guessing game is better than your skill out on the pitch to be able to take us down this week.
I can't keep a straight face. Fun fact, I actually ran into him in ranked and told him, thank you for always picking us because you were the sole reason we won.
Well, fair enough. Well, if he was able to get those right, that might have been the only time that week. But moving on to this week, we have some fantastic matchups, and I cannot wait to get to the bottom of Tuesday. It's going to be a ton of fun to watch Tank squirm. But starting off at 8 o'clock here, and these are going to be matches off stream up. First is Circuitry Gaming 2-2 versus Aspire Entertainment 1-3. And Tank, I know you're talking about Former picking against his own squad, and he was correct with that. Went 0-2 last week after being fairly impressive 500 after week 1. But where are you sitting against this Circuitry Gaming?
So we all know the love I have for Circuitry Gaming and Dexter and crew, but Dexter, as he stated in chat, he's out, Wavy's out, so they're playing with their 4th and 5th string players, and their 3rd stringer, in my eyes of how good they are as a team, like they're playing with their 3rd, 4th, and 5th best players against an Aspire team who is yes, they ran into a really strong force last week, but still a very, very good team. And I said it all last season. If Dexter's not playing, I don't see CG winning this one. So I'm going to Spire.
Diesel?
From last season, I just remember the if Dexter doesn't play, they don't win trope. But after playing against Circuitry multiple times, I have to agree with you in that the team with their third, fourth, even their second, I don't think is as good. I don't think Dexter is the deal breaker, but I do think that overall, I don't know if they have much of a chance against the Spire with their full roster. So I also will go Spire.
Yeah, and with both Dexter and Wavy out, incredibly weak, and Tankard, I am picking Aspire Entertainment for the 8 o'clock match, game 1.
Thank you for being specific, so there's no more vagueness.
Moving on to the 9 o'clock match off stream is a 2-2 Irate Esports and a 2-2 Team Ignis. And Diesel, I don't know if you're watching, last week we were wanting to see how Irate was matching up against different teams after they had a very, very strong week 1, but it looked like some of the teams that were in the lower half going 0-2 last week against the Team Ignis, who coming in brand new was trying to demand some respect as well. And again, these are two new teams that were right there on the cuff. So where are you sitting with these two squads?
Oh boy, of course you go me first. Genuinely, the only reason I'm going to pick for Team Ignis here is because I have never seen Irate play. I've played against Ignis before. I've seen them around. I think they're a good team. And Irate, especially having that good week 1, as you mentioned. But good week 1s can only get you so far.
Yeah, and that's, it's difficult here because, again, so last week, as I'm pulling it up here, Irate lost to Origin Gaming 2. It was a 3-1 squad. And then they lost to Eclipse Esports, who Eclipse is also 3-1. So losing to 2 top-notch teams. Ignis coming in at 1-1. They played against BBU, which, if I recall, BBU ended up winning that.
Ignis won that one. They won.
Ignis won that one, and then they lost against Trash Esports, who, so they're right there on that line. I think I got to go with Team Ignis here, just based on the competition that they've been able to beat and play with versus Irate. I know they lost to 2 3-1 teams, but I'm going with Team Ignis on this one.
Yeah, when I was going over the matches when they got posted on Friday, this was the one I was struggling with back and forth to pick. But I mean, to agree with what you guys said, right now Ignis's wins and even their losses look stronger on paper than Irate's. Right, like you said, they took Trash to 5. They got a win off of BBU. And, actually playing pretty well last week where Irate, yes, they took a game off of Origin Gaming 2. I feel like everyone's going to at least take one off of them.
Because the same much.
Right. But the other teams they played were Radiance and RBG Claw. And, RBG Claw's only win was over Radiance. Radiance is the only winless team right now. And so for Ignis, who also beat them, but then beat a BBU team who is struggling a little bit, but still aren't last just yet. It feels like Ignis's level of competition has been a little stiffer than what Irate's have been, and they've been able to step up to it just a little bit more. And so I think this one's going to go 5, but I will go Ignis on this one, and I hope they don't make me regret that one, kind of like Sonus last season, because if they do, I'm telling you right now, Camo, I'm coming for you because I'm going to blame you for that one because you cursed me last season.
Well, speaking of Camo, let's just move right along to our next 9 o'clock match, which is a 1-3 Team Sonus versus a 1-3 New Horizons. And both of these teams got their first win last week. They came in 0-2. They both went 1-1, so they do have that one win. But again, Camo, I swear, if you make me regret putting this hat on right here, And
No.
Team Sonus does not win. This hat ain't coming back. This hat ain't coming back. So Team Sonus over New Horizons. Tank.
I love Corky and the boys, right? Like, I've been casting them for almost as long as I've been casting in IGL. Like, when they started with MPG, I was casting for them, and they looked really solid last week, and I think they're finally making that turn. Like, I talked to Corky a little bit about it, and they're realizing what they need to do to get over that hump, as they took escape velocity to 5 and had a dominant performance over Galactic Gaming after just losing to BBU. And that was a reverse sweep. So really, they should be at 2-2 if all things would have gone their way in that BBU match. And so I think New Horizons can sneak this one out against Team Sonus, because Team Sonus's curse seems to still be alive and well. They're going to play well in scrims, and when it comes to main matches, they kind of fall off.
Diesel?
All right, I got to do this because someone took theirs off. Because someone decided to take theirs off, I got to at least rep it a little bit. But I have to agree with Tank on this one. Again, seeing New Horizons play, and again, playing against Sonus a couple times, I just look at them differently, and I think that the playstyle of New Horizons, when I've seen them, will beat out the playstyle of Team Sonus. And that's really, I think, there all is to it. I think these teams have an equal skill. It's just going to be playstyle differences that are going to be the decider in this.
All right. Well, moving along, as I'm trying to see my show doc around my son, who's again having some fun here. 1 and 3 RBG Claw versus 1 and 3 Galactic Gaming, and I'm going to start with you on this, Tank, because I'm currently can't see my screen.
All right, so RBG Claw and Galactic Gaming. So again, Galactic Gaming's only win was against Radiance, but it was a really dominating win. I want to say it was like 21-1 across the series there. They were playing lights out with a new roster configuration that was going on there. And so it's really tough, even though RBG Claw seems like they were going to make the turn, but ended up losing to Team Sonus. And so this is really the first coin flip match of the night. But I think Galactic continues on the trend and puts back-to-back wins together here.
Diesel? I still can't see my screen.
Perfectly acceptable. This is terrible. I have to agree with Tank again.
Oh my god.
I have to. There's just no... Again, this is going back purely as a player who I've played against, playing against RBG multiple times, IGL circuits, and playing against Galactic. I just think Cohen and Tricky, just those two together, are just a completely different team than Team... Or I'm about to say Team Sonus, because you said their name, but RBG Claw. Just when I look at me playing against both of them, when I was going into a match, I was a lot more scared of Galactic than I was scared of RBG Claw. So I gotta go Galactic. I think it'll be close, but...
Yeah, see, and this one, again, it is very close, it is very tough, but I think RBG Claw is going to find a way. I think they've had enough time, they're figuring their roster out, they're playing much better, and I think they're going to be able to take down Galactic Gaming. So, Tank, I am picking RBG Claw here for this 10 o'clock match on Tuesday. RBG Claw over Radiance, Galactic Gaming. I can't see my screen.
Wow,
RBG Claw.
Wow, trying to make a point and you're still wrong. That's
no,
awesome.
I was consistent the entire way through. It was RBG
Claw over Radiance. Glad they're playing tonight.
Moving on to the next match off stream, 10 o'clock, is Radiance Esports. They are 0-4 versus a 1-1, or 1-1. 1 and 3. Your big head makes this difficult. 1 and 3. Best of Us United. Diesel, I'm going to start with you on this one.
The saying is, birds of a feather flock together. Well, the same thing applies to dragons. I mean, it does. When it comes down to it, Radiance is kind of a, this is not to be rude, is kind of a shell of last year's team. Most of their top players leaving, somewhere.
Weird. I wonder where.
I wonder where. But most of them leaving, it's not as good as they were last season, and BBU, as far as I know, still basically rocking the same roster, just having a little bit of a tough time early on. which doesn't surprise me. They tend to start slow anyway. But either way, I believe in Millsy and the gang. I think they have this one. I'm going to go for a sweep. I don't think it'll be much competition.
Oh, that's a bold statement.
Let's say I am going with BBU as well. I was talking to Millsy earlier. He was asking about the pre-show, and he said they are playing better, and they would not let us down. So I'm holding Millsy to his word, and saying BBU here over the 0-4 Radiance Esports. BBU over Radiance. Got that, Tank?
Yep. And I agree. Radiance, I didn't think was going to be affected nearly as much as they are by not having Sky on there anymore. And it's just, like Diesel said, it's a shell of what we saw finish in the top 8 last Invitational, and just not getting on a roll. But they did start out really slow last Invitational as well, and it was about end of week 3, beginning of week 4, where they were able to start turning it around. But I think BBU is able to figure out a couple roster things. They got it locked down. I think they're going to pull this one out tonight.
Yeah, apparently my son's laughing at you.
That's fine.
even have a 2-year-old laughing, but I think he's laughing because of this next matchup that we are going to start first with Tank. It is the match that we get on stream first. It is at 8 o'clock, a 4-0 Wet Esports versus a 4-0 Origin Gaming. Tank, try to talk your way out of this one.
Look, for lack of sounding bias, I'm going to pick my org. Like, I don't pick against my org teams. Whether I know they're going to lose or not, I won't do it. I rep my teams until the end. With that being said, Wet has beat Origin Gaming back in the last Caster Clash, beat them in the group stages off of a kickoff. They always push them to the limit. Origin struggled last week against Eclipse, which they went to 5 games, and Aspire, which they went to 4. Actually, they haven't had a sweep all season yet. And there's still a lot of question marks on the defensive side for Origin. That's their biggest weakness. If it weren't for Lemon Puppy, Origin, in my mind, is getting blown out right now. And so I think that they're going to figure something out tonight, and it's going to be a very, very close series. I wouldn't be surprised either way, but ride or die till the end, I'm going Origin.
Diesel?
This is the one when I was told that I was going to be on here that I had the hardest time picking between. I know Origin Gaming is fantastic. I know Wet also, from personal experience, likes to beat up on teams. So, if I had to go back and pick, I gotta go Wet. I mean, they went undefeated last season, won it all. Starting out undefeated this season, I think they're gonna do a repeat. I know there are a couple of teams in this circuit that are going to give them a run for money, and I think tonight is it. I think it's probably gonna be in 6. I don't think it'll go to Game 7, but it's very well good. Well,
I guarantee it won't go to Game 7 because it's best of 5.
Oh, well, never mind. Go. You're right. All right, so either way. All right, we'll go 5 then. It'll go 5 then. We'll just drop down 1.
It's that Ohio math there for you, folks. Don't know how to count. But, with this one, I was going back and forth with this. Because is Wet going to be at full power? Is Wet going to have their full team? And what will they look like with time of Cruncho spent away? But every time I questioned Wet last circuit, clearly they proved me wrong. And they've already beaten Origin Gaming, but they didn't have the finish that they wanted. And I think that's going to play a lot into it. And I'm going with Wet over Origin here tonight. It would not surprise me if it went the other way, but I am picking Wet here tonight. And I know how good Origin is. I know Wet's beat them before. But again, going back to last circuit when we were picking up, until I'm proven wrong, until Wet loses, I can't pick against them right now.
Fair enough. I feel that. If Origin wasn't one of my org teams, I'd probably be on Wet.
Moving on to the 9 o'clock match on stream is Tank, another Origin game. It's Origin Gaming 2 versus Escape Velocity. And Diesel, we know that Tank's going with Origin Gaming too, and I'll let him talk a little bit, but I want to start with you on this one. 2 3-1 teams. Are you going to pick this Origin Gaming squad? Because I know you have history with them as well.
Welcome to number 2 that I had a hard time picking. Origin Gaming, as I have said, and I also know some other people have said, shouldn't work, but it does. And that is the hard part about picking against them, is that on paper, even when I played them, took a game off them, I'm like, how are they so good? Why did they win? And then they beat us again. But that's beside the point.
Not saying much, though.
I know. But, and then looking at escape velocity, it is hard for me to pick against escape velocity. It really is, which is why I'm not going to. I think their overall team play is going to beat out Origin Gaming, but this is another probably going in 5. It's a coin flip. I genuinely could go either way depending on any knowledge that I know, but I'm gonna go with escape velocity.
Yeah, and again, this Origin Gaming 2 squad, it should not work. They should not win. But this escape velocity squad is also very, very, very strong. This Origin Gaming 2 squad, very, very, very strong. So here we go. Wes, hey, should I pick this one or this one? Okay, escape velocity. The boy says escape velocity.
Woo! That's what I like to hear.
Tank.
Look, I told you my allegiances lie with the org. I will pick them whether they're slumping or not. Whether they want to play Tarkov until 1 minute before match time because they like to give me an aneurysm and I think they personally hate me. It doesn't matter. I have to go with Origin Gaming 2. For some reason, Poke, Hertz, and Toast, if those are the 3 playing, or even Hertz, Trent, and Toast, like somehow they just take this glob of ugly, throw it on the field. It works. I don't like it. I don't like watching it, to be honest. It drives me insane. But I'm going to ride or die with the org, and they're going to somehow pull this one out.
All right, moving on to the 10 o'clock match, the cap of our night. It does not slow down with the action. It is a 3-1 Eclipse Esports versus a 3-1 Trash Esports. You know, Trash coming out strong last week, and they had a little stumble in week number 1, not playing quite how they expected to, but we had a talk with them, and we had a ton of faith in them. They went 2-0 last week, 3-1. Meanwhile, this Eclipse Esports, they faced off against Origin Gaming. No one's beaten Origin Gaming yet. That is their only loss on the record. Thank you for getting in my way. As well as beating the 2-0 Irate Esports, and they continue to impress and continue to look strong. But again, the renewed faith, that's the one I'm going to pick. You sure? All right, well, my renewed faith in Trash, but the boy says Eclipse. So I'm going to go against him because he has no clue what he's talking about, and I'm going Trash Esports.
I was going to say, this would be the easiest cop-out ever. Oh, my son picked him. It doesn't really count, right?
Nope.
Get rid of that asterisk.
Nope. Nope, go with Trash. Tank?
This is another really close one. I feel like Eclipse has unfinished business with Trash and with the league as a whole after how they finished last Invitational with the chance to take down Wet and throw in that one. But I think they're going to come out, show that they're a strong team, but still just fall a little bit short of the Trash Esports guys because I'm back on that train, baby. Until maybe the next pick, but that's neither here nor there.
Diesel?
Until the next pick. I can just see who's up next, but I love Ninja Zach. Known him for a very long time since we started playing here in IGL Invitational and in general 3 years ago. But I have to go against him on this one. I got to go Trash as well. It's as a returning champion from a couple seasons ago and having a good showing last season. It's hard for me to pick against them. Again, Eclipse unfinished business, but I don't think that's going to be renewed tonight.
Oh, you joining over here too, Mallory? Yeah. All right, I got both kids now, but we're moving on to the Thursday night matches for Thursday night. And we're going to have a little bit of special. We'll get to those here in a couple of seconds, but starting off stream. Yep, there you go, Mal. You're on stream. starting off stream as a 1-3 Team Sonus versus a 0-4 Radiance Esports. And I'm rocking the hat. Wes has picked the hat back up as well. I'm going with Team Sonus. I think that they're going to continue. I think they're going to have a great week. They're going to go 2-0 this week and be able to move themselves to 500. Diesel?
I think you said it all. Team Sonus wins. I don't know if there's much argument here.
Yeah, no, we're in 100% agreement with this one.
All right, and this was the one that Tank was alluding to, a 4-0 Origin Gaming versus a 3-1 Trash Esports. And I know it's going to hurt you going against Trash Tank, but I'm assuming you're with Origin?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Like I said, they are the org team. I will pick the org team. I have my allegiances. As much as I love Trash and the boys, I can't pick against the org.
Diesel?
I respect that. And I actually have to go with you. Again, Eclipse is a great team. I love Ninja. But Origin Gaming, I think, is just too strong for them. I think they are just a better team overall. And as long as they're playing...
We're not talking about Eclipse.
They're playing Trash.
I was wondering why. Okay, yep, never mind. Ignore me. Either way, still...
Okay, so
my pick still stands with Origin, but over Trash. I still think that overall Origin is just the better team. I think Trash will bring it close, but I still can't go with that.
Okay, he's playing Pokemon. Cool. He is playing on your computer. I am going with Origin Gaming as well. It would be a little bit of surprise to me if Trash was able to pick up the victory, but at least this early. It would not surprise me if this is week 6 or week 7. Hey, guys, it would not surprise me if Trash week 6 or week 7 would beat him, but this week, yes. I'm going with Origin. Galactic Gaming 1-3 versus BBU 1-3, and this is 8 o'clock and 10. I'm going to start with you on this one because this is going to be on the B stream. You have this, so go ahead.
Oh, this is going to be a really close one. I'm going to go with BBU just after talking to Millsy and the confidence level that he had. You got to have faith when a captain is saying they're getting it figured out. They have a new strategy. They're getting everything ready to go. Like, you have to believe in that. And with the hours they're putting in, and with Galactic finally finding their first win, but still not fully having their legs under them yet, I think BBU can take this one.
So you'll take us captain saying they're confident seriously when it's not me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, fair enough. As long as we stay consistent.
As Daddy Seeger's coming out.
I guess I'll go next since he's being the usual. But let's see, we're on BBU versus Galactic. Let's see, I picked it for both of these teams in the first week matchup on Tuesday, but it's a hard toss-up between the two. Because again, if I'm going to go in a match in which team I'm more scared of, I'm more scared of Galactic. I still think that Cohen and crew are a very, very solid team. And going against BBU, I think they still have a lot left to accomplish. A lot more to grow. And I gotta go with Galactic on this one.
Yeah. It's difficult on this one, but no, it looks like I might be lagging a little bit here on my side. I don't know if that's going on your end or not. But Millsy said he's not going to let us down. I'm going with Millsy. I'm going with BBU. Moving on to the 9 o'clock match on the B stream is a 4-0 Wet versus a 3-1 Escape Velocity. And, I was going with Wet earlier. I have a lot of faith in Escape Velocity, but I have even more faith again. Until somebody proves them to not be the champions, I got to go with Wet Esports. Diesel?
I am right behind you on that one. Until someone proves us wrong, Wet in my mind is the top. They're going to be in the finals again. That's my not so bold prediction, and I don't think they lose here.
Yeah, I agree. I think Wet I think Wet takes down Escape Velocity, and another really close match. I just think Wet has the overall advantage in that one.
Moving on to the 10 o'clock match, 3-1 Eclipse versus 3-1 Origin Gaming 2. We know Tank is with Origin Gaming 2, even though he really doesn't want to be on this one, just because he's at Org. But Diesel, I will let you pick.
All right, now I got to make up for myself. Eclipse is facing Origin, just number 2. This is such a hard one to pick. Again, I picked for both of these teams at the start. If I have to go by which team I think is going to be better on the pitch, I gotta go with Origin 2. Again, it shouldn't work, but it does, and even against some high-caliber teams, I mean, they just make it work.
Yeah, but I hate Poke! I hate him! I love him, but I hate him! I hate him so much when he plays Rocket League. I don't want to cast him. I'm going to be casting him, but I don't want to. Somebody can feel free to send this to him because he knows I hate him. And I think that they're going to be able to pull it off. I don't know why, and they shouldn't, but I think Origin Gaming 2, as much as it pains me to say, please Eclipse, I would love to be wrong on this one. I would absolutely love to be wrong, but I'm going with Origin Gaming 2.
I agree. Hesitantly.
I would say you probably agree with everything I said.
No, I agree with your pick. No, I do agree with everything you said. Pope knows I love him and hate him at the same time. It's a great relationship we got.
It's true. All right, moving on to the matches that are going to be on the A stream here on the Indy Gaming League channel. At 8 o'clock is a 1-3 New Horizons versus a 1-3 RBG Claw and Tank. You got your allegiances. These are not an org squad for you, but where are you sitting?
I wish I could make this pick after tonight, because I feel if New Horizons wins tonight, they're just going to be on a roll and they're going to roll right into RBG and just get over that hump. But if they lose badly this series, RBG has the advantage in that one. Although RBG has been playing much better, I think New Horizons' start to their season has been a little bit more impressive than RBG's has, and so because they haven't even played Radiance yet, and their win was against Galactic, who's played teams really close. So I think New Horizons can take that one.
Diesel?
I have to agree with Tank again on this one, especially going in last week. I think I had RBG Claw losing, and then New Horizons beating Sonus. So if that plays out, especially, I think New Horizons comes in with momentum and just, I don't want to say they steamroll them, but they're definitely going to win if they come in with that momentum. And Claw, again, just, as you said, struggling early on in this season. And I think New Horizons' resume against teams is a lot better, so I got to go with them.
Yeah, see, and I'm the other way. I'm doubling down. I said RBG Claw was going to win. I said Team Sonus was going to beat New Horizons. And I'm doubling down. RBG Claw is going to go 2-0 this week. Get themselves back to 500. Moving on to the 9 o'clock match on stream. Sorry, I'm trying not to sneeze in the mic right now. Moving on to the 9 o'clock match on stream. It is going to be a 2-2 Irate Esports versus a 1-3 Aspire Entertainment. And I'll start first here. Yes, Irate is 2-2, but again, the teams that they beat versus the teams that they lost to are two drastically different sections. They had two very different weeks. Aspire Entertainment came out firing against BBU, who they haven't been playing that well, but they went 0-2 last week. But I think, especially talking with Former, the drive that they have, and again, this is nothing against Irate Esports. They just haven't proven themselves to me to defeat a top mid-tier, top echelon squad. And I think Aspire Entertainment is going to rebound from last week and take the win over Irate Esports. How about you, Diesel?
I have to look back earlier to see who I picked. Okay, I think I had them losing to Ignis, if I'm correct.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just making sure I am not speaking terribly again. This is a tough one, because obviously you want to look at the record for Irate and say 2-2 over 1-3. That's obviously better. But as we've all seen, record does not prove that you're a good team, especially early on in the season. I gotta go Spire as well. Just looking at resume, I think they're going to lose the circuitry, but I think they're going to try and rebound from that.
I agree with that. If you look at the tail of season here so far, Aspire's played 3 of the top 5 teams. That leads them to 1-3. Like, you got to expect a new team coming into this playing the top teams are going to fall off a little bit, and that's going to give them great preparation to come in and take down Irate.
Then moving on to the 10 o'clock match on stream is a 2-2 Team Ignis versus a 2-2 Circuitry Gaming and Tank. You get no more information. You have to choose on this one, knowing or not knowing if he's going to be playing.
Oh, I know. He's out the next 2 weeks because he's on vacation. You think I would come unprepared? That's rude. I think Ignis takes it. Like I said, like Dexter's on vacation this week and next week. He doesn't get back until pretty much Worlds, which everyone's going to be off for Worlds, so that's not really going to matter. Without Dexter there kind of leading the way, I don't know if they have enough firepower to keep up.
Diesel?
I really don't want to go along with you.
It sucks, doesn't it? It sucks when you have to say Tank's right?
I know, it does. It does. PTUN is all I gotta say. I have to go. I don't want to. I have Team Ignis winning on Tuesday. I think they're gonna ride that momentum. And if Dexter isn't here, yes, it hurts them. But if Wavy's there, I still think they stand a very good chance of flipping this pick. But I still have to go with Ignis.
Yeah, all of us on board there with Ignis, and I know that Dexter is not the team, but he is a huge catalyst and unlocks Wavy. And I think that Ignis is going to be able to key in on that and be able to shut down Wavy, and I'm not sure they have the roster behind to be able. Prove me wrong, you know, I don't know, the Circuitry Gaming, if you're listening in, prove me wrong, but I think that's where they stand, and I have Team Ignis as well. So those are your matches for this week. Again, on stream tonight at 8 o'clock, Wet versus Origin. At 9, Origin 2 versus Escape Velocity. And at 10, Eclipse Esports versus Trash Esports. On Thursday, we are going to have 2 streams going. On the B stream, which is going to be Tankert and a special guest. At 8 is going to be Galactic Gaming and BBU, and then I will hop in with them for the 9 o'clock, which is Wet and Escape Velocity, and the 10 o'clock, Eclipse and Origin Gaming. And then on the mainstream here on this channel, 8 o'clock Thursday, New Horizons versus RPG Claw, Irate Esports versus Aspire Entertainment, and Team Ignis versus Circuitry Gaming. Now, thank you so much, Diesel, for coming in and joining us with us. But before we let you go, give us your bold prediction of the circuit.
Bold prediction of the circuit. How bold are we looking? Because I have a couple that I consider bold. Like
the boldest of the bold.
Well, oh man, that means Radiant's not getting a win's not very bold.
Ouch.
I know, I have to at least a little bit.
Statement.
Oh boy. If I had to pick the boldest thing that I think is going to happen, I think BBU turn it around and go positive. They finish top 6.
Okay.
BBU finishing top 6. All right. Well, there you have it. Again, thank you so very much for joining us, Diesel. Thus concludes our pre-show here. Stick around as we're going to head to a quick BRB screen. Go refill your water. Grab some popcorn. You are going to want to sit in tight as we have a fantastic match to kick off. It is going to be 4-0. Defending champion Wet Esports versus the 4-0 closed qualifier champion Origin Gaming at 8 o'clock, top of the hour. Don't go anywhere. Indy Gaming League Summer Invitational 2022 right around the corner.